Welcome back to Fourth and Pain, the only pro football, pro wrestling show to be hosted by an NFL player and a weight loss champion, Redskins defensive end Adam Carriker.
If you smell what Fourth and Pain is cooking.
I smell it, and it smells so well. Former wrestling announcer, weight loss champion Chuck Carroll here. Be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube. Just head over youtube.com, do a search for Fourth and Pain. You can't miss us. Adam, this is the Go Home, the fourth down segment on the radio version of the program. So let's set the plate here a little bit. We've got a lot of questions from the fans that they've written in. They want to ask you. We're then going to be joined by your lovely wife, Angie. She's going to be talking, I think, probably a little bit about what it's been like to really take care of you during surgery. Then we're going to circle back. I think that we've got a couple of weight loss questions from me, and then we'll take it all home. Sound good?
It sounds good. This is the Fourth and Pain family segment of the show where we invite you to be a part of the Fourth and Pain family.
First Fourth and Pain family member out of the gate, Samantha in Arlington wrote us on Facebook, like us there. She says, hey, Adam, I hear Tim Tebow has been off to a rough start in New England. So if this doesn't pan out for him, is this the end of the road for Tebow?
First of all, Chuck, wipe that stupid smile off your
Zippy
stupid
chance,
face.
'cause you know it is
not the end of the road for Tebow. This is the perfect landing spot for Tebow. He doesn't have to be the starter. He's not going to push the starter. He's not going to crack the starter like he did last year. This is the perfect landing spot for him to be the backup or third string quarterback, develop and learn from one of the best in the history of the game, if not the best, and then become a starter one day of his own.
Yeah, well, here's what you're missing. So let's say that things don't work out here in New England. It took Belichick forever and a day to sign this guy, and I'm still not all convinced that he didn't sign him as a favor. So if things don't work out in New England, yeah, his NFL career is 100% Dunsky. There's nobody else.
As a favor to who? As a favor to who? And you're just assuming it's not going to work out. Why won't it work out? Honestly, it did work out in Denver. In the win-loss column, they just didn't want him there. But the win-loss column, it did work out there.
I'm not assuming that it's not going to work out. I'm saying if it doesn't work out, then this is the end of the... Then if it does, wonderful. Then I'm proven wrong. Yeah, 100%.
Then you're more useless than a white crayon.
First, I got plenty use out of the white crayon on black paper, mind you.
Doing what?
Drawing white circles on black paper, so deal with that. Bill in Williamsburg writes in, a little more close to home here. Jarvis Jenkins, he gets suspended 4 games for performance-enhancing drugs. He says he's confused because it was an over-the-counter supplement. So what Bill wants to know, he wrote in on fourthandpain.com, why do you guys chance it when you know that there's a risk there? Tough question.
It's not really a tough question. It's just a little bit tricky because on all the supplements, they simply say if NSF is on there, it's safe. If there's any question, don't take it. If there's any question, you can call a hotline. And that sounds oh so simple. But here's what some people don't know. It's not just the supplements you take, it's stuff you eat. I could eat a poppy seed muffin. If I didn't know this, eat a poppy seed muffin, go take a drug test and fail it because a poppy seed muffin will make you fail a drug test. And if you don't know that, you could very well fail it. So it begins with the supplements you take. And by the way, there's a lot of good supplements out there that are better than what NSF or whatever, no disrespect. And you want to optimize your game, but you want to stay within the rules. So that's tricky. And then just everyday things that you take can be tricky as well. It's not as cut and dried as people like to make it.
Wow. You know, I had heard the rumor about the poppy seed muffin, not necessarily applicable to the NFL side of things, but, you know, certainly people that have to take drug tests and then they test positive because of the opiates in it. But I didn't realize that you guys would seriously test positive over something as simple as that. I thought that it would have to be a measured level of some sort of a over-the-counter supplement. That's interesting, man. Anyway, Bill, thanks for the question, fourthandpain.com. Adam, let's move on now. Let's bring on your lovely bride. You love to do the introduction here. I could never do this one justice. You bring her on, my friend.
It's the best part of the show each week with the most beautiful member of the Fourth and Pain family, my lovely bride, Angie. How you doing, Angie?
Really good.
It's good to hear your voice. First of all, welcome back to the East Coast. And Ange, let me fire off this one at you here on the Pulse. Adam, we've talked a lot about his surgery, what he's undergone last week, the 3rd procedure. My question for you is truly, what's it like having having this go on at the house? What's the experience been like for you? And more importantly, has he been a man about it, or has he been a bit of a baby?
Oh, he's been a man. I'd throw him under the bus if I could, but no, he's been a man. He's been actually amazing. You wouldn't even know he just had surgery. Just getting around really well, and he's been pushing it incredibly hard, and physical therapy, and just, yeah, you can tell he's determined to get back, and he's doing great.
Certainly good to hear. I remember speaking with him the night of the surgery, and he sounded really coherent for everything that had just gone on. So, I mean, is this a case where you have to kind of chauffeur him around like he's a kid in high school that hasn't quite gotten his driver's license yet? Or is we talking about Mr. Independent on the other end there?
No, we're back to our high school age again. Still have to chauffeur him around this week. But hopefully next week he'll be driving.
Neither one of us enjoys that, I should add. I don't enjoy being chauffeured around, and I will be driving again next week. Side note.
Front seat or back, Adam? Front seat or back, and is there caviar?
No caviar. She hates fish, but I am in the front seat. The kid's right in the back. Just so you know.
Speaking of kids, here's an interesting one. We only have a couple of seconds here, but here's an interesting one. Adam, you mentioned this one to me this week. You said something about your kids combined. I think their combined ages is, 6 or 7, like that? And
all three of them, yeah. We got a 4, 2, and a 9-month-old.
Exactly. And so already I think that 46 flights, the shortest one was like 2 hours. Now, I know that you're big and strong, and Angie, you're mother of the year many times over, but seriously, how difficult is it for you guys traveling from coast to coast with all of these kids? Give me a story.
Well, real quick, let me jump in. First of all, she's got it down to a science. It is epic. The looks we get walking onto a plane are just awesome, and then the kids are great, the whole plane ride, but it's all her, and I'll let her explain how she does it and if she wants to share a story.
We just really schedule it the best we can to get an afternoon flight, so hopefully we can get them to nap a little, and then just bringing things that they like to do, their iPad, quiet games like stickers, colors, their favorite snacks they usually don't get, entertainment, because children get bored and they get bored quickly, so you need something that they feel occupied to do for long periods of time. And the biggest thing we do is treat it like a car. There is no getting up. You sit in your seat unless you have to go to the restroom. Other than that, you just sit in your seat.
So let me clarify this real quick. 4-year-old, 2-year-old, 9-month-old. 4-year-old's been on 33 flights. The 2-year-old's been on 10 flights. The 4-month-old has been on 4 flights, 46 total flights. The shortest flight is 2. The longest is over 4. The average is over 3. And we've only had one bad flight. And that was 2 flights ago, where the baby was awake, cried the whole time, and pooped out of her diaper in her car seat. So that was a tragedy. But 45-1 isn't a bad record.
No, that's a good record. I think any team would take that. So, all right. Well, maybe next week we can expand that to 46-1. I don't know what your plans are for the week, but Ange, certainly appreciate you taking the time to join us. Next week, we're talking garden. I want an update on that.
Thank you, sweetie.
Sounds good.
Angie Carriker there on the Pulse. And Adam, let's move on. I think, before we got rolling here on the Pulse, you told me that there were a couple of weight loss kind of questions for me, right?
There's a couple of weight loss questions. You can hit us up on iTunes, YouTube, fourthofpain.com, Ask a Weight Loss Champion. This first one comes from Big Bob, at Big Bob 971 on Twitter. I believe he hit us up last week. Must have liked your answer from last week. He goes, could you have lost the weight without the gastric bypass surgery?
All right, short on time, so I'll give you the short answer. Bob, the answer 100% no. For me, it was a struggle with food addiction, and what gastric bypass enabled me to do was literally reprogram my brain. It changed my taste buds, enabled me to break that addiction. Without that, zero chance I would have been able to lose that weight.
Now, this isn't one of our preset questions, but an obvious question that pops into my mind, Chuck, if you want to lose 250 pounds like you did plus, without the gastric bypass surgery, are you just screwed? What do you do?
That's going to take an inordinate amount of willpower. I don't ever want to say that anybody is screwed out of a situation. I think that if you have the heart and the determination, anything is truly possible. But the weight loss surgery gave me the best opportunity to do it, and it's something that I would seriously urge people to consider even if they have a big fear of undergoing the knife. It certainly was something that worked out for me and worked out for millions of others. So certainly give that a strong consideration.
Okay, I think you got one more question for me. What you got?
Final question. Love this guy's name. Rock commented right on our YouTube channel, and he says, I hear you say 1 week machines are the bee's knees. It's the way to go. Then you turn around, you say they're not as good as free weights or dumbbells. So which is it when it comes to machines in the weight room?
Well, when I was promoting using machines, I promote using machines for only 3 things. Number one, when you're coming back off an injury for rehab because they'll protect muscles, doing shoulder press because it won't put as much stress on your shoulders as dumbbells or barbells will, because that can be a stressful lift on your shoulders, and also doing bent over row to try to save your low back. So they're good for that. Other than those 3 things, I would stick with dumbbells and optimally barbells.
There you go. There's your answer. That, my friends, is the familial segment of Fourth and Pain. And as for now, we are fresh out of time. I'm Chuck Carroll. Thank you so very much for believing in our weirdness.
On behalf of the largest arms on the D-line, my lovely bride, Angie Carriker, and the weight loss champion, thank you for being a part of the Fourth and Pain family.
And now, words of wisdom with Adam Carriker.
Shaggy, you, Scooby, and Velma go downstairs and check the basement. Daphne and I'll go upstairs and check the bedrooms. Well played, Fred. Well played.